Hare Krishna. Can you hear my voice? Am I audible? Okay, let's start. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining today's session. We have been discussing from the fifth canto. Actually, the last 3 days we have been hearing beautiful reflections from devotees uh, on their learnings from the fifth canto. So till now, uh, about 10 devotees have presented their reflections. On Monday, Gopika Priya Mataji, Pawan Gaurang Prabhu, and Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu presented. And on Tuesday, Ramani Tunga Vidya Mataji, Madhavi Gopi Mataji, Shyam Sundaranand Prabhu, and Shiv Kumar Prabhu had presented. And yesterday, Radha Vallabhi Mataji, Sita Komal Mataji, and Jainitai Prabhu had presented. So we have 2 more days. So the plan is that, because Radha Pramod Prabhu is traveling and we don't have his sessions, so we will take 2 days, go extra time and cover the reflections in these 2 days. We are not going to extend it to Monday. So this is the final thing, and many devotees are postponing it to Friday. My request is Friday already it is overbooked. So if devotees wish to present, my request is devotees can go today if you don't mind. Okay, don't go for that little extra preparation. Don't do that because tomorrow it's already extra booked, overbooked. So I'm requesting everyone wants to do it on Friday. I already have about 6 people who have volunteered for Friday. So I'm requesting you, some of you please go today because tomorrow we won't have so much time. So if you have little extra to present, you present today. Because if we go on Friday, then you may get less time to present. So this is my humble request. So let's get going. So I will finalize it once more. We are not going to extend the reflection session to Monday. Today and tomorrow we will go extra time and complete it. And again, Friday is overbooked. So some of you have booked on Friday. If you would go today, it would be very, very helpful. This is my kind request. Okay, so let's get going. Yes, Madhumati Priyasaki Mataji we have just one hand up. I'm just hoping that some more will raise their hands. Yes, Madhumati Priyasaki Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams, and am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranams to everyone. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Sakshurun Milita Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for letting me do the reflection. And in spite of all the health setbacks, like you could complete the chapter very well, the whole fifth canto. So let me start in the first chapter, you mentioned that King Priyavarta, how, Parikshit Maharaj is asking how Atmarama, who's attached to the, lotus feet of the Lord, how he is attached to the household life and how he get again attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. In this context, you mentioned that when a devotee who's absorbed in lotus feet of Krishna can never give up Krishna Katha. And even though there are many kinds of obstacles, in that way, like you describe those obstacles, there are 2 different kinds of obstacles. Like one is an offense, like which is example is Bharat, example is Rahuguna and Dvida, and which can be rectified by great mercy of the exalted devotees. Another one is the desire of the Lord, which we see the Priyavarta is Krishna wants to orchestrate two things, like his desires Krishna as an obstacle is he wants to intensify the prema of the devotee. Another one is to teach others. Here Priyavarta, like he is giving an example like how important uh, the following the Lord's one second. I'm very sorry I got cut off, like because instead of ignoring the call, somehow it went into the call. So yeah, in the offense desire of the Lord, Priyavarta Maharaj, he was showcasing, the Lord was showcasing Priyavarta Maharaj, how important the obeying the authority of the Lord. So here in case, like we are seeing the Brahma also, he was coming to cajole Priyavarta Maharaj, why is Brahma coming to cajole him, like because Priyavarta Maharaj is a great devotee of the Lord, and he doesn't need why is he behaving like an ordinary person in this regards, like you did mention about like why, because he's covered by Yogamaya. So there are three kinds of people, like in a householder life, like when the person who doesn't have any sense control, or a person who have controlled senses, like both of them can be suited for the household life. Well, the third category is our devotees, who are the sadhakas who are trying to control the senses. For them, the grahastha ashram is suggested. So in this regards, Prabhu, like you mentioned some of the nice mind blocks. That's why I gave the context, this context. A couple of mind blocks you mentioned. Your analogies, the mind blocks, and then the practical application. Those were the things I love to hear, because it's very much related to us. There's so much take home in this context, like you mentioned that is be Krishna conscious, not ashram conscious. So this has been mentioned by other devotees also. So whatever is favorable to execute Krishna consciousness, we should accept that, whichever ashrama is. So a devotee may think like, oh, this grahastha ashram is very complicated. If I go into as a brahmachari ashram or sannyas ashram, then I can uplift the Krishna consciousness. But this is not possible, like because this is just a mind block. We are just thinking like that. In this regard, I'm thinking about my Guru Maharaj's like instruction. He was when he was mentioning about the Gajendra's episode. He mentions like Gajendra is very strong in the land, whereas he's very weak in the water. But a crocodile has got an water element as a very strong, whereas if the Gajendra has fought with crocodile in the land, then it would have been so easy, like you would have within seconds he could have he could have won the crocodile. But because he went to do the water, and then the crocodile was apparently, Gajendra was losing the battle, because that is not his strength. The water element is not his strength. Similarly, we should also fight battles, like we should choose to fight battles where we are strong at. Wherever we are strong, we should fight. Similarly, when someone's grahastha ashram will be strength for someone, and someone brahmacharya ashram would be strong. So it is not like one solution that fits for all. It's like that. That's what you also explained, like how important it is, like to not have that mind block. Krishna consciousness can be executed in any different ways. And also another mind block you mentioned is like about the sadhakas, like with them they thinking, oh, Brahma Muhurta time chanting is really great, like I can concentrate very well. But other times when I chant, like, oh, it's not going to be good, like we decided that's not going to be good, because like we are used to chanting in Brahma Muhurta time, which is good, like which is recommended. And we have been doing for a few ages, and we have been doing for few years together, like. And then after that, like we think of, oh, we miss sometimes, and then think, oh, it's not going to work. In this regard, no, I was attending a 10 years back. I was attending His Grace Mahatma Prabhu's Japa retreat. there was a 4-day retreat. On the first day, first class, Prabhuji was talking about this mental block. Do not have this mental block. One second. So he was having this mental block. So he was telling this mental block will not take us anywhere, because the mind is a very, very powerful tool. And because the mind is very powerful. And when you say, oh, I'm not going to concentrate now, I will not be able to concentrate when there is going to be span, like a there's going to be an attention span, going to be losing attention span. If someone thinks like that, already the preconception, the mind will trick us. So that's saying, oh, you're not going to chant because not well, you're not going to be attentive. So then we are going to be committing the 10th offense automatically. And also when we are, when we are end of our life, we never know when our life ends. Like we have to leave at Brahma Muhurta time. We doesn't, it is not a guarantee we leave in Brahma Muhurta time. So anytime we take the chanting beats, we have to hear, and and then we have to listen, hear, and be attentive. So that's a thing you pointed out. Yeah, that was really good. Like you could point out these mental blocks which we have. Another one is about the Swayambhuva Manu. He mentioned that I escaped from poisonous ocean of material affairs, that is the grahastha ashram. He could say it was troublesome, and when he was quitting it, and he wanted to renounce, whereas he was putting Priyavarta Maharaj into the household life. Is it hypocritical, like you that also they explained. So it's like your class is like not only translation, description, and explanation, but you take a lot of time to clarify why the certain characters are behaving, they're doing what they're doing. And we don't misunderstand those characters in the Bhagavatam, every character in the Bhagavatam. So that you make sure you take time, diverge yourself, take time to explain that. So you mentioned that because he's a Vaishnava quality. Swayambhuva Manu is a Vaishnava quality. He's got Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vignana Bhujai. So because he thinks like, oh, for me, I cannot, I have to renounce. Then only I can do it. For others, like Priyavarta Maharaj is already exalted. He can do it. So that type of thing is there. That's why that type of Vaishnava quality is that. So it's not hypocritical. And also one more thing is like when the performance of karma, different karma, like Varnashram Dharma, when Priyavarta Maharaj did some Varnashram Dharma, when the kingdom. And then you also mentioned that it's not always harmful. Varnashram Dharma is a duty of the king also. And when that following the karma becomes Krishna conscious, say executing the Varnashrama Dharma, when it is considered as devotional service. In that regard, he did mention like few points, like one is like because Lokasangraha purposes, because of Lokasangraha purposes, the person follows the Varnashrama Dharma. Or another one is like thinking very clearly, this is not going to nourish me. I'm just doing it as a Lokasangraha purpose. Another point is like, the Varnashrama Dharma, you don't want to disrupt the Varnashrama Dharma because it is created by Krishna himself. So why to disrupt that? Like maybe I have a faith in bhakti, whereas others, people who don't have faith in bhakti, for value system is different. So that way I need to perform karma. For these activities, if you performed, then it is not taken as it is devotional service, and it is not taken as a performing karma, or if you didn't say all this, like sometimes it's like very judgmental of why the king is doing this, like, or where the pure devotee is doing. So all these you clarify all these points in your lectures. That's what I like it more. And one more thing is also, you mentioned about which I didn't know. Priyavarta Maharaj, I will always think like he's competing with the sun. He's been messing up with the nature, or I was thinking, why is he competition? There is a So you made it very clear. It's for the looking for the beneficiary of the inhabitants of the earth. So to make the cooler season, winter season, a little bit warmer, the sun makes, and then the summer season became cooler. That's the reason. So I didn't know that before. And another episode is of King Nabi was directly worshipping the Supreme Lord. And in that sense, like he was asking for progeny, a son. And in that, like you mentioned that he's not very selfish, so that this person will put a pinda or do a karma for me when I die, rituals. It's not for that selfish purpose, but for uh, establishing as a king, like he has to rule the kingdom that way. Even Anga did that. And also you mentioned about nice point, like Chitraketu Maharaj. Even he also married so many millions of wives to just get one son, a progeny. In all these instances, they went far and beyond to get a child on their own. Why not? There are so many children in the kingdom. Like, why can't they have adopt one? So yeah, this was very nice, like, because they cannot adopt because Nabi is coming from the great heritage, like Swayambhu Manu, and then Priyavarta Maharaj, and then Agnidhara, and then Nabi. So they all the samskaras they have done is been passed on generation after generation. And the Nabi semen is very powerful. It's not ordinary, and also is very powerful and potent, and then very bona fide. So the bona fide, when there is bona fide parents, the bona fide children will be there. So that person will rule the kingdom. It will be good for everyone. Like, so the ministers also will not accept if they are not bona fide. So in this regard, I loved your analogy so much. Every analogy I like yours. This one you mentioned about the milk and then the culture. And the culture in milk is so good, and then the culture is little bit not dodgy or not good, then you won't get a good yogurt. Like, it's a contaminated or compromised yogurt we get. So this I can, I'm always looking for the culture or best culture whenever I do. It's very much like applies to me. I don't know how you took this example, but it's very very nice, like this example, very apt example, because milk and culture are considered to be parents, mother and father. If they are good, then the bona fide children, like that, a bona fide curd, like curd will be better. So in this regards, you mentioned about the one of the points, Janmana Jayate Shudra, um, Samskarat Bhavet Dvija. In that, like, I always hear, when because we are born in Kali Yuga, by birth we are Shudra, we are birth Shudra. Many times I heard this, like, your explanation was very clear, that you said about, when Prabhupada says Varna is not dependent on birth, you should understand that Varna is not just depend on the birth. So that makes a lot of sense. By Janma, no one is a Shudra, but maybe, if someone, we cannot just pick up someone and then do a lot of samskaras and they become a brahmana. It's not like that. You mentioned very clearly those points, like, which is like, I liked it so much, like, because that clarity was there after that. And yeah, one more thing is about the glorification by the priest when they saw the Supreme Lord, the glorification of peace priest. They were saying about, like, one cannot glorify completely, but incomplete completely cannot glorify the Lord, because the Lord is infinite, and he's got magnanimous qualities, which no one can be complete in glorifying. But when we are doing a incomplete glorification, it is an insult. At least in those days, when people are glorifying someone new, glorifying us, no one would accept, because it's an insult. And but how is the Supreme Lord accepting this kind of insult? It is only because the Lord has got the greatest ever compassion. So in Karuno Vrinite, you mentioned about the Prahlad Maharaj's shloka in this. So yeah, because of the extreme compassion of the Lord, so he can give a chance to the living entities to accept. Although also in the same one, you mentioned that, like, some Yamunacharya, sometimes we describe the Lord, we hear the Lord is looking like a complexion is like a moon cloud, and the face of the Lord is like a lotus flower, and the lips are like the bimba fruit. And Yamunacharya described everything, and then saw the Lord personally. He said, oh, what did I do? I have compared you with the what all I have compared you. So after seeing the form, I feel so dejected that what all I have compared, like, it's not at all equal. What the comparison is not equal. But in this, I always think, like, in this you mentioned very clearly those things, like acharyas mentioned about rain cloud, or lotus flower, or any other comparison, they are all very true, 100% true, because they are pure devotees of the Lord. They see the Lord face to face, they see the abode of the Lord. So their description is the transcendental things, which is in the abode, the transcendental lotus, not the one which we see here. Maybe a little bit close, but it may be a little closer, but it's not the one in the material world. So yeah, in this context, you also discussed about whether material analogy, is it okay to have a material analogy for a spiritual reality? So it's a nice debate, like nice thing. You mentioned about the Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what he said about, as a matter has got some commonality. So different things come, material, some material qualities will be the same. They have some commonality will be there to the spiritual things. In this regards, you mentioned about the Arundhati Darshana Nyaya. Say the newly married couple, when they are seeing the Arundhati, they first were pointing to the Vashishta because they are big enough to see, and then through that they spot the Arundhati nakshatra. Similarly, like similar to that you mentioned. So if you take the object closer to the spirit, it's okay. It may not be the exactly, it may not be the same. So the person who has got no clue of the spiritual reality can get at least a distant reality, what it is, how it is, and develop some spiritual emotion. So the people who are clueless materially, so it is not inappropriate to use a material analogy. Because at least some people may get at least distant realization of the spiritual reality. So that way, this kind of you took time to explain all these things. And also another one is about the teachings of Rishabhadev. In the teachings of Rishabhadev, there was a comparison, like it is like a double knot, or it's like Rishabhadev teaching is like the relationship between man and women is a double bondage. So in this one, like you did mention a good analogy. Double bondage means what? Like, yeah, okay, man is connected to women, women is connected as a hridaya granthi. It's not very easily, it's not able to, release from that. So if one person leaves also is a problem. If the other person doesn't leave is because the mutual connection between the man and women. So in this regard, you mentioned about the cloth clips. You draw a nice diagram, like at least I could understand those pictures from the pictures. The two cloth clips, like a two mouth and then the two ears are the opposite to that. And then the two mouth are when they open with the two ears, like two clips, and then when the mouth are joined together, two clips of the mouths are joined together, then even when you release one of them on pressing one from of the ears, you release one of the other will not get released. So this is compared to the man and women relationship. Even one wants to leave, the other also has to leave, like at least endeavor to leave, otherwise it's not possible to get release. So that's why it is called double bondage, double bond. So it is like another one you gave an example is person getting attached to the materialistic things. That's a little bit easier because the material things are all jada, they're not attached to us, we don't have a mutual relationship with the material things because they are jada. And then this is also, you gave an example like instead of a mouth, two mouths getting attached to the the clip of the mouth, instead of one of the clip getting attached to the tail, so if one leaves, the other one leaves. So similarly, it's easier to get rid of the material attachment than to get rid of this double knotted hridaya granthi. So these was the analogies, like you gave some of the analogies. Still, you have many analogies, like you have given, and it was really suitable. I could relate to it. I could appreciate more, like whatever you're giving. Because explanation is good, but if there are analogies, I could have able to appreciate more with your analogies, your creative analogies. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I have more, like lots and lots, but I don't want to take too much time. And thank you so much for giving us all these analogies, all these Vaishnava take home. What is there for our sadhaka's life, what to take home, and all these are very clear in your lectures. Like I would look forward to you for hearing all other cantos, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Madhu. Thank you very much. Very beautiful presentation. Actually, honestly speaking, this clip analogy was not my analogy. I had heard from someone else. I just repeated that analogy. But I just extended that analogy, the putting the mouth to the tail. That was a small extension that I made where, uh, if the mouth is released, then the other clip is released. That was
Mm.
just small extension that I made. But that analogy itself, I cannot, it's not my patented analogy, someone else. I heard it from someone else. So I found it very appropriate. So I just shared. But thank you very much. It was, I mean, I have been always telling this when I hear these reflection sessions, it's a very humbling session for me because I honestly feel that if I had been hearing, would I have been so diligent to take these notes, note down so many things, and if I would be able to present it like this? I don't think so. So I think all of you are much more exalted. It's it's just that maybe I have some skill, but when it comes to sincerity, I see all of you much more sincere than me, and it's always. Uh, I mean, I think this is a good thing to happen before every canto. That I feel I am really grounded. You know that see there are this forum is filled with very exalted Vaishnavas who are so sincere. So uh, I think this kind of internalization is very important before every canto starts, so that the presentation is in the right consciousness. So I eagerly look forward to these presentations by devotees. And I mean, since the first canto till now, the fifth canto, I don't think there was a single canto in which there was any disappointment. So I am very grateful for to all the devotees for being so sincere. It's so inspiring. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Giri Prabhu, you have to unmute yourself to speak. Yeah, go ahead. Your voice is not audible, Prabhu. Have you unmuted? I mean, are you speaking? We are not able to hear you. Maybe sometimes you may have been uh, connected to a different mic or something like that. Check your mic, Prabhu. Go to your uh, your Zoom mic and check whether you have connected the right mic or not. You can fix it, Prabhu. In the meantime, we will hear from Keshav Mataji and then we'll get back to you if that is okay. Yes, Keshav Mataji.
Hareshna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. And Dandavat big pranams to all the devotees assembled here. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, actually, I am really, as you said, I'm humbled by the presentation of other devotees. So I am also hearing daily, but I never did all these things, and I didn't take notes like them, and I didn't do any of these things because the time is very peak for me, so I'm not able to do it. I cannot complain, but I'm not that capable maybe. But here I just want every canto. This is the fifth canto reflection, Prabhuji. Right from the first canto, I'm hearing your session, and this morning session, as I have realized many times, it is totally. That is the fuel for us to run the whole day, Prabhuji. Whatever the topic is being discussed here, whatever under which varnashrama or anything, but there is always a take home message, how we have to conduct ourselves as a devotee, how we should conduct ourselves with the how to associate with non-devotees. Everything is being discussed here, Prabhuji. And I just actually I'm here to just express my gratitude to you, as other devotees also did. So uh, uh, actually, Prabhuji, not only the Bhagavatam topics and what are the technical details what we are discussing with you, that is one side, Prabhuji, but the explanation you are giving, the practical application of all the technical details we learn here is coming through your sessions, Prabhuji. So every day, though we learn, we are facing so many problems in our material life, in our family life, and devotees, associated devotees. And I'm sure every devotee here will be longing for the guidance of some mature devotee who can guide us in a better way, in a detached way, at the same time in a very right way. And you're one of such person to me, Prabhuji, because whether it is my family problem or my spiritual, I mean, the devotees problem, anything, if we write to you, when you have time, you guide us so properly, Prabhuji. So all that I have is my heartfelt gratitude to all the efforts. And as yesterday Sita Kamal Mataji was telling, uh, we can learn from a Vaishnava through his behavior. And you have also told us in a session, Prabhuji, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj used to say, you can preach in a way that at times you talk. So talking is just one part of the preaching, and the rest thing is how we conduct ourselves. And you are one of such devotee which we are able to follow, Prabhuji, because all the devotees what we are reading here and Chaitanya Charitamrita, they are very, very, very. I mean, they are before like 500 years ago or 5,000 years ago or many, 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 many years ago. But practical application, when I see a devotee who is preaching as well as he's trying to, and you used to say that I am also in conditioning, I am honestly speaking, I am not this like that, you are telling, Prabhuji, but whatever I have observed, and I just want to share how this even this yatra arrangements, how we are arranging, because every year I used to take devotees, Prabhuji. The 5 years I am taking devotees, at least 50 to 60 devotees I used to take yatra. But this time when I had an experience of just being a part of your yatra team, so I'm just observing everything, how we are so genuine. And every, in many other yatras, even in our ISKCON, Prabhuji, once money is paid, that will not, they used to say we cannot give it back, and like that only the instruction, Prabhuji. But now, till now, if you, anyone who is not able to continue the yatra, not able to come yatra, you are immediately asking me to send it back. So these things may look small, Prabhuji, but it's helping me to shape as a how to grow as a wonderful devotee. And anything, one thing I want to share with devotees, though it is not from Bhagavatam, but I had a personal experience of my servant maid. Once I found her in a CCTV. She was taking some sweets that we had from the guest, and I didn't know, because she was very reliable servant, and she was here for the past 10 years. So I didn't know what to do. I don't even know how to react, and I didn't know whether I can ask you, but I asked you, Prabhuji, what to do. And the way you guided me, immediately you said, please don't tell her anything, Mataji. It is just sweets. Maybe she's having some grandchildren. She may be giving it. So please don't tell her anything. Be nice to her. In fact, you can give her more sweets. And it was opposite to what other people guided me for that, Prabhuji. But since I take your word, I sincerely, I followed it, Prabhuji. But the result now, when I was just exactly, I didn't know whether it's right or not, but I was exactly doing, I called that servant maid, Amma, if you want, you can take more. What you did yesterday was quite hurting to me, because you could have asked me like that. I said, no. Now she is very, very, she has become very loyal to me, and our relationship also has improved a lot, Prabhuji. So any guidance, whether it is a practical life or devotional life, to have a devotee like you, and to me, I'm telling here, like, you're more than a father. Father only will give us everything, and at the same time, when we do a mistake, he will chastise also in a right way. And you're chastising us also, Prabhuji, when we do a mistake. And you're more than a father to all of us, I believe. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. And sorry, I'm not talking from the canto, but this morning Bhagavatam session is amazing, because this Bhagavatam only brought me to you, Prabhuji, because I saw the advertisement of your Canto 1 through some devotee group, and I just joined your session, and Krishna has perfectly arranged this for me. And thank you so much, Prabhuji. Sorry, I didn't speak about Bhagavatam, but I just want to share these points. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhu. Thank you very much for sharing.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Okay. Yes, Giri Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Are you able to hear me?
Your Prabhu, if you have two of your things on, maybe your laptop and your phone, you can please mute
Yeah.
one of them, because yeah, that is
Now it is clear, no, Prabhu. Okay.
now it is clear. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Please
Just
start,
one
Prabhu.
minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. So, Dhanyastu Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity to share my gratitude, my little bit of understanding, and mostly my feelings, and that kind of a situation for me, like what Mataji has just now expressed. I only second her, because uh, you know it's we. I feel that we are very lucky. Maybe in my last millions of lives, I have done one good act which made me to come to this association of such great and nice and beautiful souls, and in association with you. So, as I was preparing and I was really contemplating to see how did I progress over the period of time. And if you remember, uh, I joined this group 1.5 year back, and last year, observing for a couple of months, once I dared to ask you in the question and answer session that why devotees are asking so many questions, though they are so exalted devotees and have been practicing Krishna consciousness for quite long. I also very foolishly presented a great analogy that as we grow, our knowledge and intelligence increases, and the number of questions and doubts have to come down. Now I realize is my realization is that how foolish I was, how silly I was, and how totally immature was my understanding. After coming to this Bhagavatam session and after continuously, attending our morning class, I started to understand why there are so many questions and what's the reason behind. The reason behind is that everyone is endeavoring to improve their Krishna consciousness and also understand the Shastras much better. The whole purpose is that. And when he have such a noble and pure cause, obviously the questions will be coming. So while preparing, I was reflecting and I was pulling my own leg, and I was nudging myself and asking, can you dare to ask one question on cosmology? It's not possible. And when you look at the questions put forth by Sundaradhan Prabhu or Shivakumar Prabhuji or Mother Gail or Keshapriya Mataji and other devotees, the questions are for you yourself, it's like a bouncer. And I don't understand the basic, because of my limited understanding, it feels like these questions are some bouncers to me on a cricket pitch. And and the doubts at which the doubts which they are having is at next level. And the way you put up the answers, the way you draw the answers in such a lucid way, like like uh, a mother bird is chewing the food and feeding it to the little birds, little young ones. To that level, you chew the entire shastras and bring it in such a beautiful, crisp, and easily digestible and easily understandable way and feed us. So, the one good thing which has happened to me after coming to a study is that I have myself realized that this is the best thing which can happen to me. I am like that Narada of that previous birth. He had the association with the Vedantis and served them and had their food remnants and got their blessing so much that in the next life he became Narada. I am also in the same thing. Even if in this life I may not be able to become an exalted devotee, but at least if I am in association and if I continue the association of the devotees and you, my I would be definitely, in a next level of my Krishna realization. And one more experience to add what Mataji was trying to tell here is that I have personally experienced how our Balram Shakti Prabhu, he many a times mentions that I am only teaching, but don't believe that I am able to follow. This is entirely wrong. At least I would strongly say so, because I have seen this happening very closely. As you know, that we have an upcoming Udupi Yatra, and Prabhuji had given me a small task of booking some tickets for the devotees. And I was doing this job, and to the very much of my surprise, to the peak of the surgery, means not that while Prabhuji was taking his treatment in Chennai, when he was admitted in Mumbai, and the next day morning he had the surgery, Prabhuji was sending me reminders, and in a very humble way he was telling me that I am really sorry that I am troubling you, I am bothering you by giving this kind of task. Can you imagine that Prabhuji is about to undergo a very critical surgery, and he is in the hospital bed, and he is following up with me for tickets and correcting me and reminding me whether the tickets are being booked or whether it is any inconvenience to me. So, is this not depicting the teachings of what Prabhuji is teaching us, and he himself is following up with he himself is following up with this as on this aspect. And one particular aspect as a reflection which touched me during this fifth canto was in conversation of what our Sundaranand Prabhu had with Prabhuji on the aspect of relationship, and where Prabhuji explained on the key point of how a loving relationship is meant to be. It's by giving more importance to the happiness and well-being of the companion more than ourselves, more than what I prefer, and more than what I want from that relationship. Unless we give importance to that aspect, we will always struggle in any relationship, let it be the human relationship, or let it be in Krishna consciousness or love for Krishna. And when Prabhuji told me this, when Prabhuji was explaining in detail about this aspect, I was really shocked, and I was also equally impressed that I am almost in 28 years in relationship with my wife, and still haven't figured out what are her priorities, what she likes, and what makes her get upset. Until she prompts me or until she discusses with me, I don't understand. And our Prabhuji, he was explaining it so nicely, and it was such a perfect fit in the jigsaw puzzle because I have experienced it. And if this is not a realized knowledge of the Shastra, Prabhuji being a brahmachari, giving an answer to a grihastha's question, bringing the analogies from the Krishna consciousness aspect and as well as the personal aspect, it is not possible. It is not at all possible. Also, one more important point which I realized is that I am just 4 years in Krishna consciousness and I am 55. And over the years, over the past 5 decades, or from the time of my teenage to this age, I have always seen that my priorities keep on changing. First priority was to pass the exam. The second priority sometimes was to get a good marks and get into a good college. So third priority was that to get a good life partner and then to have children, good school for the children and all those things. But never I had my purpose and my mottos and my goals kept on changing. But now, from last 4 years, after coming into Krishna consciousness, and especially after 1.5 year of coming into the association of the devotees and Balaram Shakti Prabhu, I have realized that all these goals and purposes which I had for last 5 decades is of waste. It doesn't have any significance. It doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't have any use in my life. If I would have done, and if I, my realization is this, if I continue to be in Krishna consciousness from now on till the last moment of my life, I am now sure that everything will be taken care by Krishna automatically. And it makes me so happy that we are all going to be in such lovely association till 2031. And that is the timeline which our Prabhuji has given to complete our Bhagavatam, all cantos. On that day when I came to know about this aspect, I must have told at least 50 people to whom I am close with that, do you know that I have a purposeful engagement till 2031? and that too with now with that beautiful association as we are, I am trying to know each other. Like yesterday Mataji told, we don't meet each other, we don't know each other, but the way the questions are asked and the way they express their feeling, the way they express their gratitude makes me to understand how that person is, which would not have been possible even if would have interacted in other way. And also I feel one more good thing about myself is that by this time, by when I near 2031 or 32, I am sure that the doors of Vrindavan Goloka will be wide open and I would have confirmed my RSC birth to in the Goloka Vrindavan. All this is possible only because of I joined and I came in association with Balram Shakti Prabhuji. And I feel, very fortunate and very lucky amongst the whole of Bharatvarsha, because I'm just understanding this terminology. Like, there is a Bharatvarsha and those kind of things. And the only good thing is I came in association with the devotees and Balram Shakti Prabhu. And also, Prabhuji, I wanted to tell one more important thing, which is from my heart. You actually have softened my heart. You have removed the aberrations from my heart. You have removed the heartburn which was there in my heart. And you are slowly peeling off the covering so diligently, like an experienced surgeon, each layer by layer, every day by your class, every day by answering one question. You are actually peeling off those covers, which is collected, some purposefully, some unknown, some cumulative of I don't know what many lives. And you have clearly bringing out and showing my true identity. You are making me human. I was breathing till now, but I have started living with the with the understanding and the purpose of being a human. Lastly, before I hang up my boots, I aspire to be such a student of yours that I inspire you to teach me more. Bless me and all of us that we sincerely make an effort to follow your path and teaching and make you proud. And from the depth of my heart, I thank you. Koti Koti Sastanga Pranams and Dhanyastu Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I think I need to remind devotees that it's not my birthday or something. It is fifth canto reflections. So I'll be very grateful if devotees can stick to that. And I'm very happy to know that you have an RAC seat, Prabhuji. Mine is waiting list 5,000. So in case if I don't get a seat, I will come and sit in your RAC seat. So please keep some space ready for me.
We all will go, Prabhu. You have already rocketing to Golakavali, Prabhuji, with your great humbleness and humility and the teachings also. Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes. Correct. Okay. Yes. Shivakumar Prabhu, please go ahead. And as I mentioned before, we will not be extending the reflection session to Monday. Monday we will have Krishna Veding. We will start with the sixth canto. So if devotees have fifth canto reflections, please do present. We have our tomorrow's Friday sessions are overbooked. Many devotees, want to extend it till the last minute, and I fell in that category. Like I used to not study so much throughout the year, but till I get into the examination hall, I would just, keep, you know, flipping through the pages and see, some last minute revision can happen, which can save me. So like that. So everyone has postponed it to Friday. So there are many people waiting on Friday. So if some of you would be merciful and present it today, it would be nice. And since Radha Pramod Prabhu is also not available till 15th, we will be stretching through to his zone also. So we may have extended sessions today and tomorrow. So if some of you would like to be little merciful, you can push yourself from Friday to today. Yes, Shivakumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams, Prabhu. So, thank you, Prabhu, for giving me the second opportunity. I was just feeling a little guilt, actually. I mean, basically, just to let the devotees know, I missed out a very important point as an expression of gratitude while I was speaking day before yesterday. So I requested Prabhu 5 to 10 minutes to kind of share it. But still, I was feeling guilty that I am coming for a second round, while still there are many devotees who are yet to do the presentation. But from what you spoke today, just now, Prabhu, that's kind of relief for me from that guilt, because devotees are still giving that, creating that vacuum where I can come and fill in. In fact, today also I typed in, Prabhu, if there are devotees who want to present it first time, let them go ahead. I'm just filling in. Because there are not much devotees today lined up, and I thought I will just share that point also. So, so one point that I wanted to share, I just have a few things to kind of present it in a relishable way. So, as we all know, the initiation is one of very important part of sadhaka's life, that we have to go and surrender into a lotus feet of a spiritual master. And in my case, it's been a lot of struggle actually to get through the initiation. And I mean, I'm still not initiated, but at least I have taken shelter at Guru Maharaj. So at our Guru Maharaj. So it's been a lot of struggle for past many years. I could see that I'm carrying a heavy load of conditioning that comes in the way of taking initiation. And in one sense, I was actually thinking, I am like a Jarasandha, by character and by his attempt of 17 times attacking Krishna. So like that, I have been kind of trying multiple times through multiple channels to kind of get initiated. And one of the questions that comes up, as we all know, is, what kind of service are we doing? And given my nature, given my conditioning, it's very difficult to kind of easily get along with people. That's my conditioning that I continue to work on. So on top of it, I have health constraints and a lot of personal constraints. It makes me very difficult to kind of pick up some service at a local temple under some authority who can kind of speak for my case and put through my case to a spiritual master for initiation. So that's been always a challenge, a foremost challenge for me. And even in fact, when I got inspired from our Guru Maharaj, when I approached for shelter, our Guru Maharaj kept on asking, like, what service are you doing? So that question kept on coming again and again. It was very difficult for me to answer that. Or it sounded like justifying that I'm not able to do it because of my constraints and situation and things like that. But still, there was this expectation that I have to do some service if I'm serious about taking initiation. So that was going on, and in fact, some of the devotees in our association itself were kind enough to personally take me to an authority in Chennai temple, personally introduced me to an authority, and kind of explained what kind of service I can do and things like that. And I was personally following up and pursuing that authority to get some service. Even that did not work out actually. So I was very disappointed, dejected, or even frustrated at some point of time. So that was the situation, and somehow by costless mercy of Krishna and Acharyas and Prabhupada, from nowhere, out of blue, from nowhere, we all know the kind of miracle that happens in our lives when Krishna kind of touches us, when we get to experience Krishna's hand. So like that, from out of nowhere, a translation service of translation of Bhanuswami Maharaj, as well as Bhanuswami Maharaj books. So in fact, that reach out was also done through our Sangha, Bhakti Grantha Sangha community only. Balram Shakti Prabhu only forwarded from a devotee who is spearheading, coordinating that service from Pune. So that came out, and I looked at it and I thought for a while that, okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Then I kind of volunteered, and the devotees who are leading those efforts were kind enough, merciful to give me that service. And I was actually thinking about it. The translation service is something that would well suit my constraints, my situation, doing it from home at my own pace. Literally very less, very negligible interaction with the devotees, that where I am weak at, where I have challenges at, but I can do it as an individual. And not just that, not just it works out for my constraints, but also it kind of meets my aspirations, my interests of going deep into Shastra, where I actually thought about it. The service itself, I feel it is sadhana, has become sadhana for me. I don't feel it as a service. It's like a sadhana for me. I relish that service itself. I get involved. So that came up. So, and even more interesting to note that the book that was assigned to me is Bhagavad Gita Sarat Varshini, none other than our own Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad, who is the author of the book. So I was kind of, it was like a very speechless experience for me. Because maybe Chakravarti Thakur Pad's mercy is flowing through Balram Shakti Prabhu for me attending the Bhagavatam classes for past 3 years. I strongly felt that Acharya's mercy is flowing through Balram Shakti Prabhu, that I got the opportunity to translate Bhagavad Gita, which is again very close to my heart. As some of you know, philosophy is close to my heart, and I was little afraid that I cannot, pick and choose. No, after all this battle, if I'm getting some service that works out for my constraints, I again cannot go and stand in front of the devotees who are leading that service, asking them, give me Bhagavad Gita, give me something philosophically inclined, oriented books for translation. Because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and few other core Bhakti books were also on the table, on the shelf, that they were looking for people to support on the translation. I was a little afraid, because if I do some core Bhakti books for translation, it would be like a chef who is working in a hardcore European restaurant, trying to make a pongal or vattakodambu. That's what I felt. I am nowhere closer to rasa. I'm still kind of struggling hard. So I was looking for some philosophically grounded books, philosophically inclined books, and somehow by Acharya's mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy, by Balaram Shakti Prabhu's mercy, I got exactly what would suit me, and I have started it a month back, and second chapter, 50% is complete. I'm kind of relishing that service, and it's a lot helpful. And more importantly, our Guru Maharaj was very, very happy to know that I have taken up that service, because as we know, not many people would have the opportunity or interest in doing that kind of a service, where many of the devotees do take up service at the temple, preaching work or kirtan and things like that, or doing some managerial things. There are very, maybe, I don't know if I'm correct, but there are maybe little, I mean, at least when compared to this side, very less devotees who are interested in doing some service on the Shastra front, more in terms of academy, if I can use that word. So our Maharaj was very, very happy to know that I have taken up that service, and he was very appreciative of it. And that kind of helped me. I would say that was one of the very prominent thing that kind of cleared the block. And in fact, I have to say that our Maharaj accepted my request for shelter on the premise that I have taken up that service and I have started doing that. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for that. So that's a long battle to get through it. It was kind of very overwhelming for me. As I was telling, it works out for the constraints and also my area of interest to do that. And then just to conclude that, on a lighter note, this I heard in a Sri Vaishnava lecture. A devotee it seems a devotee is offering prayers to Lord Narayana, and as part of the prayer, he started glorifying Lord Narayana. You are the Lord of all the worlds, Lord of the all universes, Lord of the spiritual world, Lord of the material world, and things like that. He starts, listing down all opulences of the world. And it seems the reason why he is listing like that in a very, insisting way, strong way, is that Lord, you have so much, no, some of it also give it to me, no. So it seems that desire was there, that longing was there in the bottom of my heart, the bottom of the heart, that such prayers are coming out. So I was actually thinking like that, Prabhu, Balaram Shakti Prabhu, you have, as we all know, you have the complete mercy of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, that the Bhagavatam is actually we are relishing day in, day out is Chakravarti Pad's commentary. I think interestingly, Rajasundari Mataji mentioned this in one of the Canto reflections, I believe fourth Canto or third Canto, I don't know. Prabhu is especially empowered by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad. And I could strongly feel that that mercy is what has empowered or has helped me gotten this service, and also having me translate Acharya's own words. So give some of that mercy also to me, Prabhu, that I complete that service, given all the constraints and obstacles or challenges that I have personally and health-wise. None of it comes in that way. I complete that service and the book gets published. I would consider the purpose of my life in this birth is fulfilled. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Great.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Very happy to know about this service of yours. Very, very important service. I mean, this is, yeah, very profound service. We all will definitely pray that you are able to do full justice, and may all the devotees get benefited by these translations. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, very much. Yes. Leela Manjari Mataji.
Hare Krishna. And I'm 100% truthfully telling that I'm not prepared. I didn't revise anything. I'm not prepared anything. But one thing I just want to say that while this cosmos, I was hearing all the time, but nothing was going inside my brain or heart. I couldn't understand much things. One thing I could understand is so vast. Cosmic manifestation is so vast. And still it is like just from one pore of Mahavishnu is just lying down. From one pore, so many, I even don't know the word, so many universes are, whatever word we call, are coming. And in those universes, initially I was also feeling Bharat, India means Bharat Varsh, whatever. So then I understood it's Jambu Dweep and little whatever I could understand. So many dweeps and all those Raja Rishis, um, they are the emperor for the whole entire this thing, and still they leave everything at the end, like you pass the stool and come out of it, and you don't even look back. So such a big position they have, Raja Rishis, and still they have such a detached heart. That's why they are known as Raja Rishis. So this Cosmos chapter really was really tough. I not understood anything much, but uh, uh, like what you said, na, it's very important to understand Srishti Leela before human pastime of Krishna. So after this Bhagavatam Canto, I understood, nahi, it's very important to listen even though we don't understand, even though I don't understand, because then वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं घुटने पे आ जाते हैं, मतलब I understand my position is so teeny that I cannot, like as a small, very small living entity, I can't dare to understand also uh, such exalted pastime as Ras Leela and other pastimes also, like even like Makhan Jo Leela, or this Leela, or that Leela. Definitely they are very sweet to ears. And inside the heart, we think we understood everything. But after hearing Cosmos Leela, definitely with all caution, we'll definitely relish that sweetness of those pastimes, and definitely we'll keep on hearing those pastimes, but with all uh, high respects, lordship, that he is that same Lord from which so many cosmos universes are arising, and that universe is so huge. In that Jambudvip, we are like um, that Bharatvarsh and Bharatkhand, and then India, and then one small little corner of Mira Road, one small living entity. So then actually, I've heard this analogy from Radhanath Swami Maharaj regarding pride and humility, but then I used to understand little, not understand also, just uh, 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 I used to chew it, that analogy. But after this whole chapter, hearing every day after day, it's not going inside, still hearing, then that humility, little humility, and not arising in still, not, but then that humility came to understand that we are very tiny. Krishna is very big. We not we, I, uh, very difficult to understand Krishna. So very important to hear these Srishti Leela pastimes before saying Satyabhama was so angry on Krishna, Parijat flower pastime and this pastime. Sometimes we tend to judge. So those pastimes are uh, um, with awe and reverence. We hear um, with all this understanding of not even understanding, but all this understanding, and trying to absorb these Srishti Leela together, like together. Honestly, grateful to you, Prabhuji, for such depth, saying again and again same things. I sometime, let me confess one thing. At same time, I used to feel why Prabhuji is repeating same thing again and again and again. But now I'm realizing that if same thing is not repeated again and again, and it doesn't drill the heart, doesn't go inside the heart. Like Prabhupada kept on saying, you are not the body, you are soul. You are not the body, you are soul. So even when we hear Prabhupada class, Srila Prabhupada classes, it not we again. I'm really sorry. The like it comes up. Prabhupada repeats, no repeats, but I need to hear it again and again and again. So thank you for drilling. Honestly grateful to you for drilling us. One small thing, definitely it's not your Vyas Puja or not your birthday, but one small thing we heard from Radhana Swami Maharaj that, and it's written in Chaitanya Charitamrita that for Haridas Thakur Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you behave well and you preach well. So uh, I'm no one to, and Haridas Thakur is he is in the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But definitely in our life, we can see that you preach well and you behave as what you preach. That is a very amazing example to see. You don't, even in spite of knowing, even so many speakers right now said, in spite of knowing all our negatives, all our conditionings, what we reveal to you, at least what I reveal to you, in spite of that, you still consistently keep on giving same kind of love and care. So I don't I just say that I don't compare, but I definitely say that you are really following the footsteps of Srila Haridas Thakur. Really, genuine devotee of Lord. With I don't want to embarrass you more, but thank you, and I'm really sorry that in spite of your repeated reminders, I did not prepare anything. Extremely sorry as a student. I'll try my best next time. From day one, I'll try to prepare. But all those analogies, the clip analogy, and all those the devotees are giving, they are very, 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 very nourishing again to the ears. So thank you so much. So many devotees are hearing so sincerely. Just being in this sangha is inspiring, and it is giving nourishing that hope and faith in my heart. Really grateful to all of you. Gratitude. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Actually, those of you who might know Leela Manjari Mataji and her family, uh, those who, those of you who would know her very well, you would not take her words very seriously because it's their, I mean, their family is directly from Goloka Vrindavan, so they can't see any faults in anyone, and they can see only good things, and that's not just her. That's the way. That's the blood in their family. It's like that. So yeah, such senior devotees and such exalted Vaishnavas, those who have been personally trained by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, have great. They are my worshipable God brothers and God sisters. So I have nothing more to say. But we can't. Please do not take her words very seriously. I mean, this is like Ati Sadhu Tama. Where there are all the faults, but they cannot see any faults. They will see only good things. So the whole family is like that. So please do not take the words seriously. Yes. Naval Radhika Mataji, please go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat pranams to all the exalted Vaishnavas here, Prabhuji. Actually, again, I would say very honestly, I haven't prepared anything, but it took a lot of courage. I had started attending these sessions from almost mid second canto, but every time I felt I wanted to express my gratitude, I felt I am very insignificant person in this such a huge forum of such wonderful, sincere Vaishnavas. I never could gather the courage to speak. Today, finally, I'm gathering some courage to speak because I have not been very consistent in hearing, not regularly even making notes. Actually, I'm a person when I sit and listen to a lecture, I'll make all the notes with all the details. But this is one session because that is a time when I have to cook and I have to do the DT services. I am not able to make notes. And I was thinking, if I had to make the notes, maybe I would have to make, thousands of pages of notes, because every point that you mention is very, very important, very, very relevant. And every analogy that you use is so special. I like, there are many times, actually people, that's what they used to call me, question box, because I had so many questions. But when I come to this forum, I always remain very speechless, and I just stay in the background, because hearing the questions from such perfected Vaishnavas itself is so purifying. I feel very insignificant. It's a very, very humbling experience to be a part of this forum. And when I joined, there was this stage in my life where I was feeling so stagnant. I didn't have this kind of association where I could actually learn and grow. I am very grateful to Champaklata Mataji, who actually, gave me the suggestion that I could join this. And I've told her कि मैं उस लायक ही नहीं हूँ, मैं यहाँ पे कैसे join कर सकती हूँ. But she told, नहीं नहीं, please do join. It would be a wonderful experience, and that was the best decision of my life, I would say, because I'm doing a lot of services, no doubt. Externally, there I'm taking care of girls' voice, and I've been a mentor and counselor to many girls. But I myself, as a preacher, also need that nourishment, that food for soul, which I'm getting from this forum. And I feel so guilty that I'm not able to make notes, and I can even hear the recordings, but I'm like very lazy to open the recordings and hear. Uh, so every day, especially when you were in hospital and you were not able to take session, I felt such a vacuum in my life, because I could not hear these classes, though I was hearing Maharaj's classes, Guru Maharaj's classes, and other classes. But because this forum, I feel, is really a food for my soul. I really wait for the special question answer session, because that I felt is the best. I always feel that's the best part of the entire session. Of course, the explanations and all, but some things actually go over my head. Many things, I would say, it goes over my head, but I still feel कि नहीं, I should keep hearing. Someday I will understand, because you break down everything to the smallest detail, and you explain it like you are like spoon feeding us like a small child, again and again repeating those concepts. And I've never seen such a hardworking teacher making, giving the PPT notes, drawing and on the board and explaining it again and again, revising. I mean, everything you are doing. Uh, because I'm also a teacher, and because I'm not able to make notes, whenever you give some analogies or some concept, I always make it a point to repeat it in my evening sessions, which we have reading Prabhupada book reading sessions, so that I may be able to, share those wonderful analogies with my students. I always make it a point, so that I don't even forget it. And to be very honest, that when I started hearing you initially, I had some prejudices, because I had met some kind of brahmacharis, and I had this feeling that brahmacharis are usually very dry, and they are very impersonal, and they have extreme views about things, and so that was my view. Of course, I was wrong. When I met you, all these misconceptions were cleared, because I saw such a balanced personality, giving so much of respect to grihastas or matajis also, because sometimes I feel I had faced also certain things where we see some discriminations among matajis and prabhujis. So when I saw your, I mean, I was really surprised that how could a brahmachari be so respectful and so balanced. And as they, like Prabhupada always said, that we want devotees who should be perfect gentlemen. So when I see you behaving, I mean, when I see you dealing with other devotees, I feel you're a perfect gentleman. And because more than Gyanis, I think we need bhaktas who are practically showing it through the example. Because sometimes when I see highly philosophical people, that turns me off, because I've seen some people who are very dry Gyanis, who are not at all sensitive to other people's needs, or they, like you were also mentioning in the lecture, that some people, seniors, they use their knowledge, and they emotionally blackmail that you have to do this for this, to please Guru Maharaj, to please Prabhupada, and for this movement. and they try to actually manipulate or exploit the juniors, and somehow we have been a part of that, or we had faced these things. But somehow the best part that I like about the lecture is you don't turn it into a victim mentality. Though we are able to relate to all the things that you say, that victim mentality or that self sympathy doesn't come in, because you give proper shastric example of how to take it further and how to use it in our spiritual growth and not negatively understand those things. I still remember that example that you had once given about yourself, that you had a cousin sister who didn't get right kind of teacher, and before exam she did not even want to attempt the exam. She had this excuse that because I didn't get a good teacher and I did not understand that concept, I'm not going to give the exam. But you had explained her ki that is not, you cannot go to the examiner and spoil your career just by saying that you did not get the good teacher and you are going to leave that portion in the exam. It is also upon us, and of course through deep prayers we get the right people also in our life, and that was very very hopeful. I mean, I feel the entire lecture, every point that you say is very very hopeful, instead of bringing us to that self victim mentality. And also uh, there's so many things that really hit me hard and I feel as if my entire life, though we personally never spoke. And even when we take online classes, I see that there are half of the people are not attentive. We don't know what they are doing. They might be sleeping, they may be multitasking, they may be doing anything. But the way you even respect those who are multitasking, and that was shocker for me, ki how could you see something positive even in that? You were like even more grateful to people who are still considering it so important, even while cooking or taking care of children or husband, they are still managing to take out time to hear this. That was like really amazing to see how a person can have such a positive approach, because sometimes we tend to tell our students ki no, if you are doing something else, it means ki you are not, this is not important for you, this is not a priority for you. But that really changed my mindset, and I also kind of started being more grateful to my students for at least coming online every day at that point of time, and though they are not able to open their videos, they are still so attentive and at least hearing and repeating those points. So that is really amazing that in this forum, like maybe 100 people are joining, but none of the videos are on, not even your video is on, but still you are able to attain extract everyone's attention, love and affection, and be so personal. Though it looks impersonal, but I feel everyone feels a personal connection with you. uh, Sorry, Prabhuji, for taking so much of time. I really don't have something to discuss from the Canto. I've not been a sincere student, and that was the reason I never thought I could be worthy of even speaking in this forum. And then your this attitude of never judging anyone, because there are so many times, even when we read scriptures, we start judging, especially like because I also get that kind of questions. Indra is always doing something against the scriptures. He's not a devotee. Why are we still talking so much about Indra and other demigods who are always offending the Supreme Lord? But the way you explained, it's not that they get those positions without devotion. They have mixed devotion, though they may not be pure devotees. And we have to respect them that they have taken up these services to please the Lord. So that attitude of not being judgmental, that is something I was trying to learn and implement in my life. I don't know whether I have been successful. I'm still trying, and I feel this journey should not go up to 2031. It should go on for my entire lifetime till I die. I just want to uh, hear this every day. And thank you so much, Prabhuji, and I'm extremely sorry I've not been a good student, though earlier I was a good student, but somehow life has given me so many services and I'm like engaged in so many things. I'm not able to do justice. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Very, yeah. I sometimes I feel very ashamed when people misunderstand certain things I do to be an act of benevolence or whatever. Actually, I have a confession to make. Um, why one of the main reasons why uh, I, I I don't mind people multitasking is I myself do it. So how can I be harsh on others? I have to confess that practically almost 90% of the days during Q&A time, I am either sometimes washing vessels, sometimes cutting vegetables, sometimes mopping the floor, because uh, you know I don't want those duties to be you know kind of because I don't have to be in front of the laptop. I can hear the questions and I can keep answering. So I myself do multitasking. So uh, so how can I be harsh on others who are multitasking? I just have to be grateful that they are at least. I mean, and also just think about it. The time that we have chosen to have our morning Bhagavatam sessions is exactly the time when uh, whether they are office going Prabhujis or Matajis or housewives, it's a peak hour. If they have to cook, they have to clean, they have to wake up the children and get them ready for the school and everything. So if you say no, 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 you have to switch on your videos, sit in front of the laptop, and with attention you have to hear. That's how you can expect that. So the very fact that they are doing it along with so many other duties, it means they have so much attraction for Bhagavatam. That's why they are doing. So unreasonable expectations also, you know. So yes, I did, you know, accept, confess that I'm multitasking. I'm not recommending devotees multitask, but for me, I have to be honest. I do it. I mean, I'm sure if you have been attentive enough, you would have many times heard, water flowing and some other sounds. If you are attentive enough, you would have heard it. You know, it would be very clear that I'm multitasking. It's not someone else doing it besides me. It's me myself. Doing that. So I mean, how can I expect others to follow something which I'm myself not following? Anyways, Mataji has raised her hands again. Maybe she has some. Naval Radhika Mataji, you wanted to add something more?
Yes, Prabhuji. One more thing I just wanted to add is because sometimes I've seen people that they speak, but they don't follow. But first time I had your live darshan, that was in Yatra. I saw you managing the entire Chappan Bhoga services there. I mean, cooking of the Chappan Bhoga. So that again, that was the time I actually went and I introduced myself that I'm also one of your student and attending. So that really touched me because. When we practically see people even doing because especially people who have too much of knowledge and like you always say ki I don't know anything. You honestly express so many times that I don't know. Well, that's a very simple answer, where there are many times people ask you question, I don't know, sorry. I mean that honesty really shows, humbles us even down, even more, that we feel कि अरे हमको क्या आता है, मतलब उनको इतना कुछ आता है. He is taking 3-4 sessions in a day with such taking the translations of such great acharyas, and then he feels ki he knows nothing. Then what should be our position? So this has also been very humbling experience. Just wanted to add that practical service, menial services that you do, that also has a big impact on all of us, and that has really changed our life. That we don't just have to be gyanis and just sit. We have to practically put it into action also. So thank you, Prabhuji, for that experience also.
Thank you, Mataji. I take that as an instruction and a reminder to me that I should be willing to do that also. Hare Krishna. Yes, Champaklata Mataji. So before Champaklata Mataji begins, I would like to just add that Mataji initially did not want to present because she is practically busy 7 to 8 hours every day taking care of her ailing father who is not keeping good health. So This is all one family. I am requesting devotees to offer their prayers to the well-being of her father. So she is practically 7-8 hours every day, diligently taking care of him. So, but still, she has taken time out to share some reflections. Please go ahead now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams and Dandavat Pranams to the assembly of devotees here. Whenever, I attend these sessions, Prabhuji, I understand that, I'm among a group of swans and I'm the only crow here, and I'm trying to take whatever is coming. And then, of course, I can digest very little or understand very little, because neither am I philosophical nor I have the spiritual maturity. But one thing I have to say is, like in all your classes, since first canto, ninth chapter, I have been attending. And ever since then, there is no looking back, because I got exactly what I was actually looking for in life. Because all the services that I had from last 14 years have been extremely stressful emotionally, and I lack that emotional intelligence, to understand whatever is both material and spiritual. So I always looked for these Bhagavatam sessions, especially where the nectar is being churned, and I get to learn from what is being churned. And the best part of your sessions is, Prabhuji, you churn the nectar initially, and through the QA sessions, when all the butter comes, that becomes clarified butter, when it is heated. So similar to all the questions that wonderful devotees ask towards the end, that happens to be the complete product which is being used by people like me. Of course, I'm able to use very little because of my weak understanding. Especially in the fifth canto, when you spoke about the Bharat Maharaj pastime, Prabhuji. Initially, I used to always think that, I'm, handling so many visually impaired people. So it will be nice to create a facility or a shelter for them, because some of them have become such wonderful devotees. So I always used to long for that. But, when the Bharat Maharaj pastime came, from your sessions and also from Prabhupada's purports, I understood that we are all limited in the way we can actually help others, both materially and also spiritually. So then I stopped seeing myself as the doer and just an instrument, and not get attached to the people or the service that I have, but rather see that this service is actually for my own purification. And if I'm being used as an instrument, just like, when you dig the earth with some instrument, to put a small plant, you use a small tool. But if you have to plant a very big tree, then you have to, dig a lot. So the spiritual master actually knows which tool is for what purpose, and Krishna actually bestows that benevolence on us to allow us to become instruments in his service and the service of Vaishnavas. So I stopped seeing myself as a doer, and I stopped getting attached to my service. So, especially when in one of the purports, when Prabhupada says that, financially or economically, you can help a few people, maybe, but you cannot help all the people. So, instead of thinking of how to help people materially, you should focus on, helping them spiritually. So basically, it's not that we didn't have this theory for the last 25 years, but there are some things which come when the churning happens, and when so much of discussion goes into, and then because philosophy is being turned to practicality here, especially in your sessions. And of course, I have made many mistakes in my life, even after coming to spirituality, but I have tried to become humbler, and especially these sessions make me humbler, because so many devotees also express their vulnerability sometimes, and then discussions, when even in your qualifications to hear that book and so many other sessions that you take, so many things come up. And even in this juvenile seva,
when I hear so much of toxicity and so much of pain and distress, sometimes, emotionally, I used to become tired. But after your sessions, Prabhuji, because every session has something or the other, which is a deep lesson, and I'm learning those lessons and applying to my experience only because of your sessions. And I still remember when I spoke about the problem in the blind school. It is constructed on a cremation ground, and all the children, not all, most of them, they experience sleep paralysis and so many other issues. And I was always like, internally, this has been my attitude that I should become more and more dependent on the holy names. So I didn't feel like following any process. And when I discussed this with you, you said, yes, Mataji, if you are taking holy name as your shelter, absolutely not a problem. You should go ahead with it. And truly speaking, we did, of course, the Narsimha Kavach prayers also, but depended mostly on the Hare Krishna Kirtan. And that place is today free of, the third floor, especially where the children used to dread to walk on. That is where I used to have my session. And some children had not come for the session basically because it was on the third floor. And after they got to know, no, it is now safe because so much kirtan went on, they had the confidence to walk there. And holy names can bring so much of auspiciousness, and then so much of confidence in people who are lacking it. So really, Prabhuji, I mean, you have that pure devotional faith, and it certainly rubs on to many people because you speak with so much of conviction, devotion, happiness, and peace. And especially just now, Naval Radhika Mataji, who is a wonderful devotee here, she's a mentor in girls' voice. She was mentioning that you make it so free and happy and open, and you're not judgmental about anybody. Like, even somebody who's not at all learned like me is able to attend your sessions only because I feel that, okay, if 100% is being given, and even if I'm able to take only 1% of that, butter, that's okay. But that is coming only out of the confidence that you are not being judgmental. And the way you accept everyone within your fold, irrespective of where they are in their Krishna consciousness, is like so amazing. And that makes it so stress-free for me because already so much of stress within the services. And if I get to know that my mentor is like, judging me, makes me, very uncomfortable. But you are not at all that way. And that's the reason why I have been able to continuously stick to your sessions for the last 3 years. And you are very gentle, compassionate, and benevolent in handling us, Prabhuji. And I've had such parents and my spiritual master, and I'm very, very glad, happy, and blessed to have you as my spiritual mentor, Prabhuji. And I'm sorry, I have not at all prepared for the, presentation today. But yeah, the fifth canto, another thing is Prem Gauranga Prabhuji's sessions were like so amazing. I mean, of course, everything was going above my head, but the way with the conviction and the kind of depth and maturity with which he presented and tried to make people like us understand. And the only thing that I have understood from Vedic cosmology is Lord's creation is so humongous, so huge, so wonderful. And first we have to understand the greatness of Krishna, and then we'll be able to understand the sweetness of Krishna. So sorry, because I'm not at all philosophical, nor can I remember shlokas, nor can I remember so many analogies that you are actually presenting, which are so wonderful. They touch my heart, and I also repeat them in some of my sessions. And I'm highly grateful to all the Vaishnavas here. I seek everyone's prayers and blessings so that I get elevated in Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and very sorry that I could not prepare any presentation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So again, even though you could not prepare, but still you find Srimad Bhagavatam as an integral part of your life, that despite you're spending 7 hours, 8 hours every day to take care of your father, and on top of that, your amazing services to the blind children and the juvenile, uh, the women in the girls in the juvenile prison house, you still are having so much respect and attraction to Srimad Bhagavatam that you make it a point to attend it very regularly and also share it with others. So, these are like I feel very inspired by this kind of sincere association. One should never think that the speaker is necessarily more advanced than the hearer. It can be the other way around, and in my case, at least, I can say I have seen many examples of devotees who are attending and hearing, but you know for sure that they are more advanced, more sincere. So I I play my role as, I can say, the facilitator. I am not the speaker of this forum. I am just the facilitator. We just read together the writings of the acharyas, and I am just doing the service of reading it. But the other participants, most of them are, I feel, are much more qualified, and I feel very fortunate to be in this association of Vaishnavas. And yeah, as devotees said, 2031 is the year we have marked for completing the Sarartha Darshini commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam. But definitely, Krishna willing, uh, Lord Dhanvantri willing, if he gives good health to all of us, then we will keep coming together till the end of our lives. And in whatever little capacity possible, we will continue this tradition of discussing Krishna conscious literatures, writings of our acharyas. So we all will pray for each other's health, both spiritual, physical, mental, psychological, all health. May everyone remain healthy so that we can keep coming together and keep discussing the wonderful writings of our acharyas. So we will pause here. So tomorrow will be the last day of reflections. So whoever wants to present, you can present tomorrow. We will start at 7:15. Maximum we may go on till 9:15, 9:30 maximum, and we will try to complete whatever reflections are there, so that from Monday we can start with the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you all very much for your patient listening and your enthusiastic participation. Okay, there is some question. Do we have 10th canto in the morning hours? We will have, because the afternoon 10th canto, I think most devotees could not attend. So morning 10th canto we will have. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.